So a multi-level conversion just brings in the possibility that the bottom of our fraction might not be 1. So I'm going to copy this over here as a structure. Okay. And then I'll ask a question. If a snail goes 32 centimeters per day, how many miles does it go per year? Again, you might say to yourself, well, that's a dumb question, because whoever would wonder about such a thing. We'll leave that to one side.
Can't see your screen, sir.
Thanks, Roderick. You other guys are just laughing at me in the background. All right. So if a snail goes 32 centimeters per day, how many miles does it go per year? So the key to this, first of all, we're not doing anything different in terms of fractions, crossing things out, picking ratios. But what is different is my initial thing is not just a single unit, but a ratio is a rate, because I have 32 centimeters for every 1 day. So now it's not 32 centimeters over 1, it's 32 centimeters over 1 day. Now, again, there's multiple ways you could approach this problem. So you could do a conversion of the two different things and then try to put them together at the end. I'm just going to show it as one process because I think that's the most efficient way to use what you've learned about conversions. So let's, well, I'll give you a minute to kind of think about what you would put next, and then we'll do it together. Use what you've learned about getting the units diagonal and, okay. Anybody want to take a stab at filling out these fractions? I don't know if I have enough, by the way. It might turn out that I need more.
I was going to say turn the centimeters into inches.
Okay, so go centimeters, inches. Okay, what else?
Inches to foot.
Inches to feet, okay, right.
Feet to yard, and then yard to miles.
Now, this part you just said, you said feet to yards and then yards to miles. There isn't a conversion from yards to miles, so that's going to be a problem. And I think you're just creating an extra step because you can go from feet straight to miles, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, feet to miles.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
So that's the distance part. We've gone from centimeters all the way to miles, which is awesome. Now, how do we do this last bit of the conversion?
The days to years.
Good. And based on the fact that the day's down here, where do I need to put it in this fraction?
At the top.
At the top. Okay. All that's left then is to fill in the numbers. This is not provided to you because it's assumed that you feel comfortable with all of those time conversions. 24 hours in a day, how many days are there in a year, 60 minutes in an hour. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to make sure you fill that out and finish the calculation. Again, multiply everything across and finish with division. Okay, I'm going to start filling in numbers here. Any debate or questions about the answer, where we ended up?
No.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be 0.0725 whatever miles to 1 year?
Yeah, if we're expressing it as a ratio, 0.7, well, I'm just going to go 0.073 miles for every 1 year, right? So interpreting it would be again about interpreting ratios. For every year, the snail is going 0.073 miles.
Where did the
But-
days go?
Right here,
I see. Yeah, but like, how do they get canceled out?
right at the beginning.
All the way down there? Oh,
Yep. Anything on the top, anything on the bottom.
okay. Okay.
Doesn't have to be right next to each other. So we got all of this cross out happening. And we end up with miles on top. Only unit left is years on the bottom. Okay, so that's a multi-unit example. Now I'm going to give you your own to do, and then we'll see how we're doing there. Okay, I just want to put that last sentence in, just assure you that the time factor is the normal time factor. Okay, seen from quite a few of you. Looking good, stuff's looking good. I need to change my tons to pounds. So I got my tons here, my pounds here. And I need to change my hours into days. So I put the hours on the top to cancel that hours on the bottom. Hours per day I can do. Then I just need to get my numbers in. 2,000 pounds, 1 ton, 24 hours, 1 day. So it ends up being just stuff on the top, 3 times 2,000 times 24, 144,000 pounds per day. And when I say just stuff on the top, I mean the numbers on the bottom is 1 times 1 times 1, so it's just 1. There is still a unit on the bottom because the hours cancel the hours, the pounds cancel, oops. The tons cancel the tons. Got a little excited there. And all I'm left with is pounds per day. Okay. Questions about that? Problems, concerns? Do you need another practice one of those?
Sure.
Well, different ways you could think about how to do this problem, but I'll just put it out there and then let you think about what makes sense to you as a problem-solving strategy. So one way of thinking about it would be to approach it as a conversion. Ounces per day can be converted into tons per year. And if I know how many tons the dog eats every year, then I can multiply by 14 to finish the problem. So that would be one way of approaching it. It's not the only way, but it's a way of thinking about the structure of the problem. So then I would go ounces, change it to pounds, pounds, change it to tons. And I'm going to need one other conversion factor here, so I need to move this off to the right.
I also did years, days to year.
Is over 2 years. So at that point, if you look at the units that you're going to have left, the ounces are gone, the pounds are gone, and the days are gone. So what I'm left with is tons per year. So if you know the dog eats, a ton, obviously the dog's not eating a ton of food a year, but if they ate a ton of food a year, then just times 14 and you'd be done with the problem. So this is not the end, but this is a good middle ground sort of sub question you can answer to get to the answer. Okay, I'm not going to finish that here. You're welcome to send me the answer later, and I'll give you feedback on whether you got there or not. So that's what I have to say about multi-level conversions. Now, the next two little sections are really about chapter 14. So now we've done chapter 13. And again, it doesn't mean that you're a professional or an expert. The practice is the key to becoming confident and being able to do stuff under pressure and in a certain time frame. I can't imagine anything more stressful than having to make a decision about a life and death decision about a patient under pressure. So I don't envy the decisions that nurses have to make and the verification of dosing that goes on in those situations. But that's one of the reasons why this is in the curriculum.